رئیس جمهور آمریکا: من مایک پمپئو را موظف کردم که به شورای امنیت اطلاع بدهد ایالات متحده آمریکا قصد دارد همه تحریم‌های قبلی سازمان ملل علیه رژیم ایران را برگرداند. مکانیزم ماشه نابجا نیست.
It's a snapback. Not uncommon.
هنگامی که آمریکا وارد توافق اتمی با رژیم ایران شد، خیلی واضح بود که ایالات متحده دارای این حق است که برای جلوگیری از رژیم ایران در توسعه سلاح اتمی تحریم‌های سازمان ملل را برگرداند. ما به خاطر یک برداشت و سیاست شکست خورده که دست یافتن به صلح در خاورمیانه را غیر ممکن می‌کرد، قیمت گزافی دادیم.
Iran will never have mark it down. Iran will never have a nuclear weapon.
دولت من چنین اجازه نمی‌دهد که برنامه اتمی رژیم ایران ادامه پیدا کند. این را ثبت کنید که رژیم ایران هرگز به سلاح اتمی دست پیدا نخواهد کرد.
Thank you very much. I'd like to discuss our latest actions against the Iranian regime. Today I'm directing the Secretary of State, Mike Pommpeu, to notify the UN Security Council that the United States intends to restore virtually all of the previously suspended United Nations sanctions on Iran. It's a snapback, not uncommon. 2 years ago, I withdrew the United States from the disastrous Iran nuclear deal, which was a product of the Obama-Biden foreign policy failure, a failure like few people have seen in terms of the amount of money we paid for absolutely nothing and a short-term deal. This deal funneled tens of billions of dollars to Iran, 150 billion to be exact, plus 1.8 billion in cash, which I don't know that the president had the authority to give, but gave 1.8 billion in cash. Just another great deal that turned out to be a total disaster that would have funded all of the chaos and the bloodshed and the terror in the region and all throughout the world. And I won't say anything because I don't like saying it, but Iran doesn't have so much money to give to the world anymore, to the terrorists, to give to Al-Qaeda and various other groups of people that they were funding. They have to keep their own regime together, and it's not easy for them. And if and when I win the election, within the first month, Iran will come to us, and they are going to be asking for a deal so quickly because they are doing very poorly. But that deal was a disaster. $150 billion, $1.8 billion in cash. And we got nothing except a short-term little deal. A short-term, expiring, starting to expire already. I imposed the toughest ever sanctions on Iran. And this has caused great difficulty for them, giving money to terrorist organizations. And if they do, they'll have hell to pay. Earlier this year, I ordered the strike that took out the world's #1 terrorist, Qasem Soleimani, in addition to previously terminating leader and founder of ISIS, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the two leading terrorists by far in the world, the founder of ISIS, nobody even talks about that. And we also defeated, we now have 100% of the ISIS caliphate in Syria. When I took over, it was a mess. It was a total mess. They were all over the place. My administration will not allow this Iran nuclear situation to go on. They will never have a nuclear weapon. Iran will never have, mark it down, Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. When the United States entered into the Iran deal, it was clear that the United States would always have the right to restore the UN sanctions that will prevent Iran from developing a nuclear weapon. We paid a fortune for a failed concept and a failed policy, a policy that would have made it impossible to have peace in the Middle East.